And if you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, baby, please don't go. This was sent to me by our boy, Mike Durbin. Okay, so these guys thought that, remember that when I left the Max Moon character, that Paul Diamond took over?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So let me say two things. When you see, because it was a very open mask, it wasn't like pentagons that's kind of closed or it was a pretty open mask. You could tell that facially that is not me, okay, even with a mask on. And number two, my voice sounds nothing like his. And so Mike goes, I'm going to trash those two dorks on the next Get My Go.
That promo itself should never be forgiven.
Think about that, dude. Just think about it.
It wasn't
Well,
Konnan.
the funny thing, they're talking about the Max Moon promo that they thought was you.
It wasn't Konnan.
How great is that, bro?
I know.
Are
right?
these guys irrelevant scumbags, feeble-minded
yeah.
clods, or what?
Right.
It's time for everybody's favorite radio show.
Get my go. What the fuck does that mean?
Get my go don't make no sense.
Does that get your go?
He really gets my go.
We're not doing this get on my go crap again.
Check out Get My Go.
All it is making fun of people and being a dick every second.
They don't give a shit about you.
This is a show run by idiots for idiots, okay?
This show is a fucking disaster.
She is a wordsmith.
I'm sorry I'm not as eloquent as you, total nonstop stutter muffin brother Martin.
These guys are making some great waves that's out there.
What?
Do you ever listen to Get My Go, Nick?
Why would you ask me a question like that?
Yo, Disco, I know you're gonna see this. Bro, you ain't fucking cool, dog. You ain't fucking cool.
Oh, Get My Go this, Get My Go that, so on and so forth. I heard it here and there. I had a couple people send it to me in Messenger.
Get My Go.
Get My Go.
Get My Go.
Get My Go. You couldn't choose a better fucking name for a podcast than that.
I could sit here and fantasize about Cody Rhodes.
Bottom right.
And I'm bisexual, and I find that downright insulting and disrespectful.
Bottom right.
Hey, Richie, cover me for one second. I just gotta let the dogs out really fast.
It's going to be known as JVD Studios.
I don't want to talk politics. Survey says family loves you, Rue.
How much do you think we actually really know about each other?
I confided in you privately about my arrest.
No, I think I know you better than you know yourself.
But the fact that you didn't come to me with that information really hurt me.
Now.
Some of your comments make me think you're hooked on phonics and stuck on stupid.
Get my go.
Get My Go.
Get my go.
Get my go.
And for all you women out there, if you're hoping to get with the wrestling otaku,
I saw my neighbor lady from across the way,
you better be ready to do some work, bitch.
and I had flashed her.
What?
For several minutes.
They can do me a favor. You better be ready to do some work in that bedroom.
Stop right here. Get my go.
Get my go.
Get My Go.
Fucking get my go.
Get my go.
Get My Go.
Get my go.
Hey, well, I want to say this right here, there, man.
I'm making a prediction right now. The groundhog's gonna see its shadow.
I don't have a favorite color.
That record is sealed, dude.
Oh, think he's got a gut.
I will find you and beat you within an inch of your life.
And when we lift the gut up, as a pee-pee under the gut.
Not enough Geritol and Centrum in the world will save your ass.
I told you I loved you plenty of times.
Man.
This shit sucks.
Welcome to Get My Go, episode 99. This is a huge and monumental episode 99. We got one more to 100. And since it's monumental, we decided why not have the original Joe Feeney back on the show?
Well, it's the original. Well, you guys did the first one, but then it was the three of us for a little while and all that. So it's back to the old triangle, the triple threat. No, that's no good. Well, I probably wouldn't have come out of retirement, but for some reason, I don't know. These guys called out K100. I don't know what the hell's going on with these two, but I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, they attack you personally, and then they attack the idea of having a non-wrestler on the show as a co-host. Like,
doesn't seem to be very logical.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine keeping it 100 with just Konnan and Disco. There would be nobody guiding the ship. It would be a complete catastrophe.
And just to stick it to them specifically, we're recording this today. Keepin It 100 just passed 56 million views.
Wow.
So I think
now hold on. That cat right there is probably the reason Joe Feeney has so many eye problems. I mean,
yeah, because he doesn't wear a condom and he's off.
All right, Joe, we are doing Monty and The Pharaoh today. How did these guys first come on your radar?
Shameful, just shameful. Well, I guess there was an email sent in a few weeks ago, and it was about a Monte and The Pharaoh segment or interview with somebody, and nobody knew who they were. It wasn't malicious. I didn't know who they were. Konnan didn't know who they were. Disco apparently did not know who they were, even though he had done the show a few years ago or whatever. And Disco, I guess, had done their show, and they're like, but Disco was on our couch, and then we smoked a joint after. Like, it was a very memorable thing for these
Disco
guys.
doesn't even remember it.
Exactly.
So exciting, Disco forgot.
I mean, let's be honest here with these guys. Let's look it up here. Do you have one of their YouTube clips?
Okay, so Disco, you were on their show 2 years ago, and you told them about how you got your name, and it's had eight views in 2 years. I'm not shitting on you. Obviously,
Well, that's how popular that show is.
That's so sad. I mean, well, where was this?
4 viewers per year.
So I guess somebody sent that to them, and they got a little miffed, a little peeved, and they put out several videos since, trashing Konnan and his career, trashing Disco, trashing the podcast and all, and just looking for attention and that kind of dumb shit. So now here's their response.
So we're gonna watch 2 clips. One is from a few weeks ago. It's their initial reaction to Disco claiming that he didn't know who they were, and Konnan, of course, has no idea who they are. And these guys are like actually shocked that nobody knows who they are. You got to realize there are thousands of wrestling mark podcasts. There's thousands of them, and you guys are just another one of them. There's nothing spectacular, nothing stands out about you guys. Yeah, you guys have. I mean, let me look.
You should look at some of the view counts. I was trying to find out when Disco was on the show, and there's like 2 clips where it's like Disco on this, Disco on that. 2 years they've been up. One of them had 8 views, and one of them had 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not exactly a poppin' channel, if you will.
Yeah.
They're one of those channels that has like a ton of subscribers. They have 20,000 subscribers, but it's kind of fishy because if you look at their view counts, it's like they have single-digit view counts and 24, 63, 35, 37, 47. When the numbers are that different, it's like, yeah, you guys obviously bought subscribers.
And just to use this opportunity as a cheap plug on the great, the Huge Entertainment YouTube channel. Thankfully, to the resurgence of Rick Rude's sexual assault that he did on Francine, I have had a video clip from her from about 2 or 3 years ago that has once again had a bump in views, all thankfully to SA on TV. So that's how you do it, boys. You ask people about clips that are, what's the term, evergreen. So you don't say, hey, what did you think of that thing that happened on January 25th? Because no one will give you shit on January 27th. You ask them questions that people can go back to at all times. You fucking old fat marks. No offense.
All right, so this is from their show. This is them starting off their episode with a clip from Keepin It 100 discussing Monty and The Pharaoh.
Was I even asked, hey, do you and Konnan still have heat, or you just brought it up?
The guy asked him about it.
Yeah. Right. On what podcast is that? What was it?
Oh, okay. Sorry. When we
Podcast
mentioned
show?
Monty and The Pharaoh. Why does he keep doing that? We mentioned it before. It was a Konnan and Curtis Axel clip.
Yeah.
Curtis Axel on their show. Yeah, okay, so my bad.
Podcast is that? What was the podcast show?
Monty and the Pharaoh. I don't know what that is.
Monte and The Pharaoh. Of course, nobody knows what it is. You kidding me? The guy's doing podcasts with some people that nobody even knows who they are. Well, he's creating content.
Has Disco ever had bass in his voice ever?
Well, the funny thing is, if you watch Disco on the Monty and the Pharaoh show, he sounds fantastic because they actually use microphones for that interview. They have it's kind of a professional setup when they have wrestlers come on. I know they pay them. They definitely, Disco did not go on that show unless you paid him.
And to be fair, Disco also did their episode baked, so his throat was probably a bit gravelly from the ganja, as the immigrants like to call it.
Joe, you remember a few years ago, Disco flew to New York for like 2 days. He flew in. He said the main reason he was going there because he wanted to get like a New York bagel, and he was going to do a podcast while he was there. Was this that time?
Well, he did one of those Facebook Live
That's
signing
right.
things, and then probably the convention also. And I guess maybe somehow this fit in. I guess they're New York guys. I didn't know where the hell they were from.
Yeah, because it seems like it's a couple of years ago. It wasn't like 10 years ago. It was a couple of years ago. Come on. All right, so that's Mike Monty. He is there's two guys. That's one of them. Look, he's got a pro setup. I got to compliment his professional. He's got a nice studio set up and a great microphone.
Old microphone.
Yeah.
If anyone is struggling to tell the difference, Mike Monty is the really boring one, and Pharaoh is the really boring one. So that's how to spot them apart. These two failures. But this guy's wearing a gangster hat, so don't fuck with him, Durbin.
New York.
The Pharaoh. He doesn't look Egyptian to me at all. He looks like a fat Mike Awesome.
He needs to change it to the ferret.
But his hat is backwards, because when you turn your hat backwards, it's like flipping the switch, over the top. Anyway.
All he needs is a toothpick and a selection of Sylvester Stallone VHSs, and this guy is someone you don't want to fuck with. Marty Jannetty, fuck yeah. What is it with Marks and the Punisher t-shirt?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh.
Fake angles.
Hope he stiffed him. See, Mike, you see a studio, a good mic and stuff. They're paying for guests. I see a colossal waste of money. The presentation, well, that video sucked, but like the studio setting, cool, good audio, cool, guests, cool, but for what? What's the end game? It's not going anywhere, and still nobody knows who you are. So it's not working out.
Well, they probably had to use that money that they got from their supermarket assault settlement.
Definitely a slip and fall going on there.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts on the?
Well, pause. I'm not Steven Spielberg, and I know you thought I was for the longest time, Durban, because I have the same birthday as him. Interesting fact. I'm no filmmaking expert, but there's this thing. It's a well-known secret in the industry called lighting, and the light should not be behind you, because that creates a thing called shadow. And so immediately I can tell if Pharaoh is stupid, although the photograph of his wife there is pretty sexy.
It looks like he's in some kind of shack. Like, what room is that?
Well, he's a mark, so it'll be Dude Loves Love Shack.
Yeah. He's got a Native American woman portrait behind him, stained glass.
Probably calls her Tatanka.
Might as well just jump right into it. Thoughts?
Oh, hold on. Let's put our sunglasses on for this.
Disco Inferno.
I immediately got to pause it.
Go ahead.
So it's a two-man show where one man is labeled Pharaoh and another guy is plugging his own show in the title name, Monty from Monty and the Pharaoh. What a waste of time.
Yeah, I guess you could confuse him with some other Monty. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so the Pharaoh has no mic. He's just he's got his camera. Not even he's got to be on his phone. There's no computer in front of him. He's just got his phone on, no mic. Monty's got some shitty headset. I mean, guys, I can't stress it enough. Headsets with mics attached to them were not meant for podcasting. It's for gaming. It doesn't sound good, and here's an example of not sounding good.
Comments. Well, can I start with
wait a minute, hold on. And their fucking host. Again, these shows get these hosts. The guy looks like he's fucking homeless, dude.
Talking about Joe Feeney.
What did I ever do to anybody?
Now, hold on. Husey, I want you to look at Joe Feeney. I want you to look at Monty. Very similar.
I'm just, not fat. I mean, that's really the only difference here.
I'll be honest. Sometimes you guys do tend to dress worse than Kyle Reese in the Terminator. but I do like Monty's. Is that purple or blue T-shirt?
It's like a periwinkle.
Ah, fancy.
Oh, you just feel the yeah. I do like his framed WrestleMania 2 picture,
of course,
and a Lazy Boy recliner. So I'm going to give Monty the point for color.
Yeah.
See, I said the same thing for K100 will be out by the time this comes out, where it's like, clearly we're not that. I mean, you're wearing dark glasses. You're bald. You have facial hair. There's not that much of a difference here, guy, except you probably are 75 pounds heavier than me. I noticed that in the clip earlier because you could actually see when he was standing up how enormous his belly was. So, I mean, no, you clearly don't look homeless. You look well fed, my friend. So congratulations.
He literally looks like he's fucking homeless.
Whatever he looks like, I haven't seen. But here's if I can make an overall estimation of what I looked at.
Well, he's on the video when you watch the video again.
What is with Ned the narrator anyway? When did Ned the narrator come into play? Because
it's called a producer.
Yeah,
most shows have them.
Ned the narrator is a good nickname, obviously, but what is that a reference to? Like, where does that come from?
I think it's because narrator starts with N, and so then Ned, he's very alliterative. I don't know. Maybe the Conrad Thompson formula kind of worked. He was a producer, narrator, co-host. I mean, that's the way it is. Konnan's always had a third guy on as his co-host and producer, narrator. I don't know. I keep using that. It doesn't even. It's not a term for this, but yeah. No, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I know you're too blinding star power there. You couldn't have a third man on to help you out, but.
Disco and Konnan alone never needed a Ned the narrator. So as far as that goes,
pause. If there's one thing that Keepin' It 100 has definitely needed, it's a Ned the narrator, an N-word. If Konnan and Disco did the show themselves, it would be 8 minutes long.
That's a big fat whatever coming from me. Whatever.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there. I disagree.
Go
with
ahead.
You. Neither one had any kind of mic skills. Okay.
Look at that badass Pharaoh smoking on camera. Cool guy, man.
When you see a guy with girl hair and they smoke, that's someone you don't want to hang around with in the jail prison yard. You know what I'm saying?
I never.
That's not what I'm getting at.
But what I'm getting at. What I'm trying to say, at no point have I ever, even when Konnan started this podcast, do I find. And by the way, we're on the same network, the Believe Network, right? One of the few wrestling programs.
How are they on Believe, Joe?
That's a shame. That's embarrassing a little bit. I don't know what they're doing there, but I do know that as a consultant for Believe, now that I helped Vince Russo get on there, and I had a little conversation with the guys that work with Van Dam, DiBiase. They'll be coming on. You guys are getting pushed out. But there was no wrestling podcast on there. There's like 2, and apparently I guess that's the other one. Maybe Wade Keller, but yeah, you're going to be way down the bottom of the list very soon. I kind of work for Believe, so maybe not fuck with you.
I don't find him entertaining. I don't find Disco Inferno entertaining. In fact, I find him so not entertaining. I can't even. I just know his name is Glenn.
So you found him so entertaining that you paid him hundreds of dollars to come on your show a couple of years ago. That's how not entertaining you find him.
Yeah, I'm so unentertained by the guy that I Googled him to find out his real information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no. He repeats again a few times that he doesn't know his last name. He'll say his name's Glenn Gilberti, but then he'll say he doesn't know his last name.
Yeah, like the reason why I know nothing about Monty from Monte and The Pharaoh, because that's his entire name, is because I don't give a shit about him. If you don't care about somebody, you don't know about them, and yet he knows about Big Nose Glenn, the star of Goodfellas.
And they had to kind of be real cool too, like, hey Glenn, do you smoke weed? I've got some weed. We're cool. Check it out. Let's smoke weed together. Aren't we badass?
Yeah. He'll get to that later.
Disco Inferno does know who we are. And that's what irked me about the whole thing. Look, the thing between Konnan and Curtis Axel is a legitimate, valid question for wrestling fans, which is what we are, to ask him about.
No way.
I don't care if it was 10 years ago or 10 weeks ago. And I'm sure that they both understand that. All right? We're asking questions. Curtis answered it. He answered it truthful. He answered it real. Konnan, to his credit, from what I heard, he ain't budging. It's how he felt then. It's how he felt now. Fuck off. I respect the shit out of both of them. All right? Whatever their differences, if they want to work it out over there on their program, this is another problem that I have with the whole thing. The entire time, Glenn's laughing. You called him Glenn Gilberti. Glenn's laughing.
You called him. That's his name. You didn't call him that. That's his fucking name. You called him Glenn Gilberti.
Says, who are those guys? No one knows who they are. You were on our show, Disco. I remember you being a good guy. You were.
So now comes the hurt feelings.
I just want to say real quick, because they got offended, and so they watched a clip, and then they were like, Konnan sucks, and Max Moon sucked, and Disco's this.
Right.
Then they came.
And they thought that Konnan. It's really a funny
So a
clip.
fan that's never done anything or be in the business is saying this to me. So I give a fuck.
Look, if someone, Joe, if you would have presented Glenn with a clip or a screenshot of when he was on the show, I'm sure you would have remembered. But if you're just saying the name of the show, dude, Glenn's probably done, a lot of podcasts in the last 10 years. It's not a cool name. Monty and The Pharaoh is a shitty name. Like, he did the show, he got paid, and he probably forgot about it. Why would he care, dude? Don't take it personally.
Yeah, and this is something that I spoke about with Francine on an episode of my show, which you can go find over at Huge Entertainment on YouTube, where we spoke about the fact that these wrestling fans assume that wrestlers remember them. They're like, hey, do you remember me 4 years ago? We spoke about the Primal Scream album that came out. Did you remember me? They go, oh, yeah, I think so. I was like, no, they're being nice to marks who will pay them to do stuff. That's what marks are for, to pay wrestlers. They don't do it for free. They very rarely do anything for free. That's the only reason why Disco ever came into your life, is because you were paying him for a shitty interview that he probably spoke over every question.
When we looked up the clips and stuff, and even when Disco was looking at it, he's still seeing himself there, had no idea, no recollection of said interview. So
wow.
I saw a clip of me like on a couch or something.
I haven't seen
talking. I was on there. I don't recall this because it obviously wasn't that big of a deal to me.
They're just clout chasing, bro. Nobody knows them, so they want to get us triggered, to start some shit.
And another thing, you got to realize these guys, a lot of them have, it's sad to say, but a lot of them probably have a little bit of damage to the brain. They've fallen on their heads a bunch of times. Like, plus Glenn's like almost 60. Do you think he's not going to remember every person that he met?
Oh, I thought you meant Monty and The Pharaoh had some damage to the brain, like
obviously,
like waterheads,
Yeah.
Disco. I remember it. All right? We both smoked the same joint together that day after the interview, and I don't think it has the same effect on me that apparently it has on you, because you don't remember anything.
So hurt.
God
damn.
Well, I'll give him this. It is annoying how Disco constantly, no matter what the topic is, wait, what is this? I don't know. Who? What? It's like, right, okay. But in this instance, I think he would remember going on like the Joe Rogan show or the fucking whoever else is popular these days. There's so many. I think I remember there being a report or something that there are something like 150 wrestling podcasts or YouTube shows started per day.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the chances that a wrestler would remember doing one specific interview from years in advance is ridiculous. The only reason why Disco remembers doing mine is because I argue with him in DMs on Facebook.
He's a 3-time Husey guest, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, the last time was a a U2 special, and his song picks were so generically shit that I thought that's the end of disco.
In the Name of Love, number 1.
Yeah, I like all the songs on the greatest hits. It's like, they're all shit, you big nose idiot. I'm joining Monty and the Pharaoh. Fuck it, I'm team them. I'm anti-disco now.
We went outside. We're smoking a J. Good interview. We were talking, like, had a good time. Disco walks over to us. We do not, like, wrestling Mark nerd out and go, oh, Disco, you want to smoke with us? We're minding our own business. We're both 50-something-year-old men having a fucking doob. You know, show's over.
He makes it sound so cool.
Wait a minute. So he's saying, hey, Disco, hey, guys, what is that? A marijuana cigarette you got there, man? I'll take a puff.
Came over like Snoop Dogg and Half Baked.
Well, here's the
smoking yesterday.
Yeah. He's like, well, here's the thing. You can take a draw, man, but you gotta come on the show. Hey, I love to come on Monte and the Pharaoh for free. It's like, it didn't happen. He came over, he seen a couple of marks that he knew, hey, I could get a couple of some nose bag money from them. And he did, or should I say, an allergic reaction.
We did our job, right, Mike? This is how we relax. Some people have a glass of wine. We're smoking a doob. He comes over to us. He's cool. We have a friendly conversation, you know? And we're not trying to take credit for anything, but for him to say he don't remember us, we're nobody watches us, nobody knows us. Come on, man. You know?
Jimmy, we've had the conversation. That's the gimmick that everybody uses with this stuff is...
Oh, for God's sakes, let's just cut to the chase. Fucking Busted Open Radio knows exactly who we are. They've asked you to come and call in. Bubba Ray fucking hates us for real in real life. We just stood like fucking 10 feet away from him 2 weeks ago.
They stood 10 feet away from Busted Open, and that's like a big thing for them.
Wow.
So Busted Open wants them to call in so that they can, so that means that Busted Open can have content that they can monetize. So they've seen these two marks that they can use to their advantage, and where the wrestlers, or should I say the show, can benefit from it. Again, this goes completely over Pharaoh and Monty from Monty and the Pharaoh's head. Like they're bragging about being worked. It's like somebody going to her house and saying, I think she really liked me. And I give her money for her car and her new... to get a radio fixed, all that stuff. Like, I give her $4,000 for a HJ, but I think we've got a connection.
Fucking people know who the fuck we are. It's like, stop it. What is that? What's?
Nobody knows who you are, man. Stop.
We're in the business and we've never heard of him, and you were on the show and you still don't remember who they was. What does that tell you, dude?
Going back to Glenn Gilberti, you said his name is, right?
Yes, I'm sure, dude, when you PayPal'd him or you gave him a check or however you paid him, you know his name, dude. Stop trying to pretend you don't know his fucking name.
You may have forgotten who we are, but you know who we are. You follow what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
But you don't know why we're here.
You may have forgotten you were on our show, but you know who we are. Don't tell me you don't know who we are. So the whole put down the other show to make them nothing is nonsense.
It's been repeated over and over again. We've watched it a million times. It's the thing that bothers you the most. It's the thing that bothers me the most. It's basically other guys who never thought about doing a podcast, decide to do a podcast, and then completely forget about, Monty and the Pharaoh and blah, blah, blah. We've been through this before. It's not that I don't think that any of them have any talent. They just go into my whatever file because you treated me like crap. I get it out once. If you bring it up, I get it out again. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. Now, am I happy that Disco Inferno reacted that way? No. However, thank you, Disco, because now people who watch your show said to themselves, there has to be some of them, who's Monty and the Pharaoh? Because I'm positive that not every single one of your viewers knows who Monty and the Pharaoh is. So thank you for totally having selective memory because you mentioned us. Whatever. We're nobody.
It was a couple of days ago. Joe sent me maybe it was yesterday. Joe sent me a video of Konnan and Disco talking about Monty and the Pharaoh. And I haven't put it up as a clip yet simply because I'm pretty sure it's going to bomb so badly that it will damage the algorithm. Because nobody knows who the fuck they are. Konnan going back at Tony Khan or Paul Walter Hauser gets people interested. Konnan going off about two marks that won't stop tweeting him. That'll get Eddie Gonzalez's attention, and that's really about it.
You know, and you should remember who you were, because I remember you as a cool dude, and I remember you smoking with us. That's what I remember.
Let me put it this way, Jimmy. Let's be honest. Then I mean, if I want to be an asshole about it, Glenn Gilberti, again, correct me. I can't remember.
No, he doesn't have to correct you because you fucking pronounced it correctly. You know his name. That's the third time now, dude. You know his fucking name.
Just say Disco then. It's not difficult.
And it's Gilbernetti.
He's a fucking dork, man. Jesus fucking Christ.
Remember his name. I'm on it. I just don't remember his name.
You do remember his name. You remember it perfectly.
Jesus.
He's a fucking bouncer at a fucking strip joint.
Oh, how many times have people said this? I'm sure you know he's not a bouncer.
No.
He's the VIP host. He's got a very good job. He makes a lot of money. He makes so much money there that he doesn't have to do conventions like every other retired wrestler.
And then he makes a decent chunk off of the podcast, which is something Monty the Pharaoh should try to, because that's kind of the point, is to monetize these things.
Yeah.
I saw something on Twitter actually where they claim to have were we getting to that? Because
you bring it. Yeah, get it.
That was like they said. Who was it? Bud Light or somebody? I can't even remember. We'll get to it. Somebody owed them $120,000. And
they got scammed. They got scammed, and they fell for a scam. That's what it was.
I did the math, and it was like, if you guys don't have 1 million downloads or whatever, then you're lying. But maybe they got scammed.
Yeah, and there was a thing they say about Disco working at the strip club. Well, over the past week, a video's come out of Scott Steiner was working at some indie show, and there honestly looks like there's maybe 18 people in the venue. And he goes to climb up the ropes and he falls because he wasn't able to lift his leg between the first and second rope. That's what happens when you don't save your money and you don't make smart decisions in your life. If Disco was broke and desperate, he would be doing indie shows right now with his big nose. And he would... that's the thing. You age out of the industry and then you move on. That's the sensible thing, and like look at Ric Flair. It's pathetic. He's got like 70 divorces to pay for. So every time he makes money, it immediately goes out. So he can't stop. While Disco hangs around with prostitutes, otherwise known as strippers.
But I mean, we've all spoken to Disco. We're familiar with him. Is there anybody more content with their life really than Disco? Like he goes to work, he does the podcast, he tans, he gets sushi, he gets Korean barbecue, he works out, he's in Vegas, he can go see whatever show he wants, do whatever he wants, hang out. He's just a very content guy, and he was smart and he saved his money and stuff. So when people like this go, wow, well, he's a bouncer, no, dude, he's he's a pretty happy and content guy. Maybe you're a little bitter, and I can understand that.
I don't even know what he does now.
That's what he does. That's what he was doing. That's what he does. That's who he is.
That's what he does.
You were Disco Inferno. You got overpaid for whatever they overpaid you for. And now you're in you live in an apartment in Las Vegas.
He get paid for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did he forget about it? I don't know who this guy is, Glenn who. His name's all I know is that his name's Glenn Gilberti and where he works and the location of the job and his history and his life and all this stuff. I don't know this fucking guy.
A strip joint, fucking...
A strip joint. It's, what is it, Joe? The number one...
What is the largest gentleman's club in the world or America?
Yeah, in the world. Yeah.
Bouncer. Big fucking deal. Who cares? And the other thing...
Drake goes to Disco's strip club to pretend that he's attracted to adult women.
Just trying to be respectful. Dude, Konnan looks like he's fucking death warmed over, dude. Did you see him on that video?
That's just rude.
I mean, the guys... these are wrestling experts who... We'll get to that where they confused him with somebody else, but if you're wrestling experts and you follow this crap... then you know the dude's had health problems for like 10 plus years, especially in the last few. And you know that. So, I mean, it's just whatever.
I'd still fuck him.
I know. I think very sexy voice.
He's got a lovely smile, chocolatey brown eyes. And I like the way he dresses. It can be very funny.
I like his moves.
I like his music. I'm sure he would have a good soundtrack for the background of the sex. It'll be a good time.
I did still shots because we would get hit with a copyright, right? So I had to do still shots. But when you saw him in the video, the dude looks like he's half dead.
Well, I'm not happy to see him looking.
I didn't
like
say
that.
I was happy. I'm just saying he
yeah.
looks like he's fucking half dead.
Yeah, well, it looks like Father Time is being mean. I don't know how bad.
I can't believe that a wrestler aged over time. That's fucking like that. That's actually a very interesting topic that Pharaoh brought up. That it's not 1995 anymore, and that Konnan has aged since the early 90s, and that he's not still on steroids. This is actually very interesting. I'm going to go back and watch this episode of their show to get more of this insight. That they're probably going to mention the wrestlers walk funny from all the bumps they've taken over the years. This is good stuff. I take back everything I said about Pharaoh and Monty from Monte and The Pharaoh.
I can't believe these two jamokes are criticizing the way anyone looks, whether they're healthy, unhealthy, or homeless. Like, you guys aren't exactly fucking Adonises here. Let's be honest. I mean, come on.
Yeah. His body reacted to all his bounces, but apparently he's having difficulties.
I mean, most former wrestlers do have difficulties. Most,
That's it. Literally all of them have issues. That's kind of why it's a tough fake fight. Or should I say sport there, man?
My wrestling opinions on both of them are this. Konnan was a mid-carder who could talk really good. He was a good promo guy. I had never liked his character. He never did a thing for me. But he certainly achieved more than Disco Inferno in his career. And I know what he means to Mexican wrestling fans. So I know that he's done something.
Okay, talking about Disco's accomplishments is dumb. It's like, did he make it to TV? Yes. Did he get to work in giant arenas? Did he get put in video games? Was he sent out to do press and all that stuff? That's called an accomplished career. Actual card positioning doesn't matter because it's not actually real. And that's the one thing that legitimately annoys me when they go, I seen somebody saying about, why is Jeff Jarrett still wrestling? He never won any big titles in any big companies. It's like, he's still wrestling because he's still being offered money to do it. If somebody went to him and says, listen, I'll pay $100 a week and I need you to keep wrestling, he would say, no. They go where the money is. This is a dumb fucking take from a girl-haired fat cunt.
Besides the fact that whenever you look back, and I'm sure these guys, because they're very old, were watching when this was on. Look back at any disco match from Nitro or Thunder. That dude never came out to a dead crowd. He was over all the time. Everybody popped for the music. Girls were dancing. People reacted to his matches because he knew how to work. He could be obnoxious. He sold. Disco was, and I know I'm on the show with him, and I do this a lot. I feel like I'm sucking up to him, but he was very, very good. He just was.
Yeah.
So anybody that says that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, also he was a promoter that ripped off all the Mexican wrestlers all the time too. Call it like it is. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Call it like it is. I mean, guy was a sleazy promoter down in Mexico. I mean, come on.
Okay. You asked me about the wrestler. I'm just talking about the wrestling. I'm not talking about the promotion.
You know what? He was Max Moon in the WWE.
Right. That was
he was so talented. They had to wrap him in a fucking rubber
terrible.
outfit.
Dude.
Max Moon was Konnan's idea.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. Come on, historians.
Yeah.
That was Konnan's idea. The ring gear, the outfit, whatever, the entrance and all. That was all something Konnan came up with from seeing, I think it was like some robot gimmick in Japan, he said. He thought that would work for the early 90s WWE. And maybe it would have if he would have been making enough money to stick around. But he made more money in Mexico, so he split.
Joe, are you saying that wrestling's fake and it's just like an acting business where people go where the bigger money is?
Precisely. It's all about toys. It's all about the kids. It's not about 60-year-old guys still attempting to talk about it like they know something about it when clearly they don't. These guys, the knowledge is very limited. I mean, it's not exactly, Meltzer and Alvarez here. You hate to put those guys over. Keller, guys that know things, have been around and remember and know why Konnan was there, when he was there, what gimmick, all this stuff. These guys don't know shit. They're just kind of pretenders. You know, do some fucking research.
He did nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? As far as Disco was comic relief.
But for Konnan to say that Curtis Axel has no talent or charisma, bro, you have no.
He didn't.
Where's Curtis Axel now?
Yeah, he's not doing anything. He's done.
No, even Tony Khan didn't hire him, and he fucking would hire Chris Benoit.
No charisma either. What, putting on a gangster outfit and a hat and your top button back and going to Auto Day or whatever the fuck he said?
Pause. Durband, after what he just said about how Konnan dresses, explain to me how Pharaoh's dressed.
He's wearing a, I don't know, black hoodie, black hat backwards.
Well, this went well. But basically, he just described how Pharaoh is dressed.
And he did have a gangster type hat on in their intro. Remember that little whatever fedora? I call all hats.
No, Monty had the gangster hat.
Okay, yeah, Monty.
Yeah.
Monty from Monty and the Pharaoh.
The same. Yep.
That ain't charisma, bro.
Right. Well, on paper, I mean, look, as a fan,
He's saying Konnan had no charisma. I mean, come on, man.
If Konnan had no charisma, then why would I be going to MikeDurband.com to buy my Konnan Major Bendis figure? Wait a minute, I forgot where I could buy that from, Durband. Can you tell me again?
MikeDurband.com, as it says in my thing. MikeDurband.com from Monty and the Pharaoh. Now shipping to Mexico, Puerto Rico, and Cuba.
Yeah, no charisma, but for some reason, Nash chose Konnan to stand alongside Kevin Nash, Randy Savage, and Sting, and Luger and Sting, you know, and then even Konnan had his own, like LAX has been around for 10 years, various versions of it and stuff. That was spun off from Konnan. Konnan was the leader, all that came from him, his charisma. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Always preferred Curtis Axel by far over either one of them.
No, I don't even think Mr. Perfect prefers Curtis Axel over Konnan.
By the way, Husey, they mentioned before that if they would have played clips instead of using screenshots, they would have got hit with a copyright strike. Is that true? Would you have struck Monty and the Pharaoh if you noticed they used our clips?
Yep.
All right, that's the end of that clip. The next one is, I think it's the following week, and they are going to criticize a Max Moon promo from like 92 or 93. The strange thing is that Konnan stopped. Joe, what happened? He left? You said he got more money in Mexico. He stopped doing Max Moon. He left WWF.
Yeah, because he was only doing so many shots a month when he was available. And he had to cart this costume around in multiple boxes. And it wasn't for him at that time. He had it made in Mexico. So he bailed. And then the guy, Paul Diamond, was like, hey, we're about the same size. I could do that, Vince. And that's basically it.
So they're gonna criticize a Max Moon promo, but it's not Konnan. It is the aforementioned Paul Diamond.
Hey.
Okay.
Who are these guys? Monty and the Pharaoh.
I guess you were on their show, from what I understand.
I don't remember, but if they went on the
somebody sent me a message saying that they said that you had with them, and that for us not to pretend we don't know who they are. And I was like, who?
I mean, how long ago was this? It's like, you know,
right.
I did podcast. It's like, those these guys, you know, and then so I guess they did a whole show,
right?
On us like dissing them,
right.
And I still don't know who they are,
right? So I was tagged by them, okay, on Twitter, right. And I put, first of all, who are you guys?
Right.
Irritated though because you played those two idiots again.
I know, they're annoying. How about this? Check this out.
After battling many various enemies throughout the universe.
I think Paul Diamond's like Croatian or something, right?
I'm not sure.
I think that's what Wikipedia said.
Yeah.
So, on this great episode of Monty and the Pharaoh, did they just play that Konnan clip before this? So they've just heard his voice?
Yeah.
And then they instantly think that this is him again?
Yeah.
And notice to criticize, like they had the screenshots at the beginning. They showed Konnan main eventing the WWE Hall of Fame.
Konnan on AEW.
And Konnan with a very highly regarded cameo on AEW. Very funny stuff. Like, I mean, I guess nobody, you know, he wasn't very good. People don't remember him, but he keeps showing up places. It's fucking weird.
Max Moon is
What a fucking moron. No wonder he sucks. I mean, really. Come on, dude.
Oh, my God.
Would you be a fan of that? Look.
After battling many various enemies throughout the universe, Max Moon has finally landed.
He's battling various enemies throughout the universe?
This guy sounds like he's got marbles in his mouth.
Yeah. Why are they going after... Why are they going after fucking Paul Diamond so much?
Yeah, is Paul Diamond still alive?
Who cares?
Well, we should tag him and send him this video.
Yeah, he's 63 years old.
Yeah, Pharaoh Pharaoh talks like somebody that Obi-Wan Kenobi would go to visit for information in the prequels. Just shout out to Attack of the Clones, widely underrated.
Again,
dressed like that?
Like that. It's like, yo, Konnan, come to the WWE. We'll dress you up in a fucking rubber outfit.
God.
What
Vince
a
must
goof,
have been,
man.
Vince must have been laughing his ass
You think
off
when he
on
looks
that
at
one.
his career, dude, that he's like, I was just nothing?
I don't think he thinks that at all.
Yeah, I think Konnan maybe looks at his mansion and thinks about all those giant sold-out arenas that he performed in, and thinks about, oh yeah, that time I wrestled Goldberg, or hung out with Hulk Hogan and Nash and Macho Man and Sting and Bret Hart. Think, fuck, I really fucked it all up. Nobody ever talks about 90s wrestling. Nobody ever wants my autograph on like NWO t-shirts or Mexican masks or whatever the fuck they're called.
Or Major Bendy's.
Yeah. By the way, if I wanted to buy a Konnan Major Bendy, do you have any idea where I could go?
You can go to MikeDurban.com right now and you can get an autographed Konnan Major Bendy that I had autographed about a year ago now. He signed 100 of them, and there are no white paint pen autographs left. There are only blue ones. So limited quantities. Go now to MikeDurban.com.
But I would suppose you don't have any video proof of Konnan signing said Bendy, so that
I have photo proof, and here's that photo proof. We hung out in the hotel room and we had Giordano's pizza, which he did not like. He did not like the Giordano's pizza, which is legendary here.
Did you smoke a joint with him?
No, but we went outside and then he smoked from his little thing, and then Mike Tenay came out of a car and they embraced. They had a great. They hadn't seen each other for like 10 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was very heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like lousy?
I mean, look, dude.
After battling many various enemies throughout the universe, Max...
This is like...
I am still working on my promo. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what this is like? This is like going... that Tommy Lee is a loser. In the 90s, he's got this giant dick and he's fucking Pamela Anderson on his own private yacht. He's like, yeah, but Generation Swine album fucking stank as shit. What a fucking loser. The 90s was shit for him. That's the equivalent of them roasting Paul Diamond.
Raisin or some shit like that.
Raisinette or something. Who cares?
Motley Crue does stink, by the way. It's just to, in case anyone thinks I was defending Motley Crue in any way. They're garbage.
What about this guy?
After battling many various enemies throughout the universe, Max...
Oh my God.
I have eaten at many fast food restaurants around the country.
He's mocking him for eating? Look at that guy. Look at that guy's triple chin.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, I would think that was a woman, actually, or pretending to be a woman anyway, Pharaoh.
Yeah.
That's an effeminate face. Well, an ugly lady, anyway.
Yeah, word of advice to men. If you're going to have long girl hair, don't be clean shaven at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a bad look. And also, was that supposed to be making fun of Max Moon, or was that guy just randomly dropping personal information?
All right, Jimmy, send us out, buddy.
You have not been watching Max Moon. You have been watching
Max Moon. Max Moon. Think about that, dude. Just think about that. That guy should be embarrassed to even talk about wrestling. Like, you lost all credibility. Like, why is that forgiven? Why is Hogan not forgiven for racist comments, but Konnan is forgiven for Max Moon?
That promo itself should never be forgiven. I'm sorry.
After battling many various enemies throughout the universe, Max...
He can't even get the lines out. He can't.
Wow. That is as bad as it's like cut. I can hear the producer cut. But
you can hear Vince like, who brought this guy in here?
I wish somebody would say cut right now.
Yeah, across the throat or wrists.
I think we've actually found the worst podcast or whatever. I don't know. Is this a podcast? Is it a YouTube show? Whatever. This is probably the worst. They played that clip, an unfunny clip that wasn't even related to the guy they're supposedly trashing. Yeah. They played it 6, 7, 8 times. It's fucking brutal. It's brutal.
And I corrected them on Twitter. I tweeted out to them that they were wrong and it was not Konnan. And then they, hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, they tried to no-so, like, yeah, but that's why it's funny. No, you thought it was Konnan, dick mouth. That makes it less funny, first of all. But to pretend that somehow this was part of your complex joke is ridiculous.
So I tweeted out, these two wrestling experts, Monty The Pharaoh one, thought that this was Konnan. And then I had a clip of, or I had a screenshot of the Paul Diamond thing. And then they responded, it was. And then I responded, no, it was Paul Diamond. And a bunch of other people responded, no, it's Paul Diamond, you fucking morons. And then they responded, does it really matter in the end? When they put these in quotes, like, I don't understand why they put their reply in quotes.
So he writes, does it really matter in the end? His promos were terrible either way. If it weren't for Kevin Nash, who knows where he'd be? Honestly, he should be sending Nash gift basket every Christmas for giving him a career in the first place. So let me educate these two morons. Number one, I'd already been a huge star in Mexico before I even came here, but I know nothing that happens in Mexico counts. The Kevin Nash thing was they had Luger, Sting, Macho, and they were looking for somebody to put in there. They could have put anybody in the company, right? But him and Scott came to him and they said, would you like to be in the Wolf Pack? And I said, yes, absolutely. He didn't get me my job in WCW. I actually had to do a tryout in Las Vegas with Psychosis, and that's how I got my job. So I don't understand how you think Nash, the Wolf Pack, that was him and Hall. Yeah, what were you going to say?
No, just that you had your WCW job before Hall Nash arrived anyway.
Is there a chance that these guys are like a parody show and we've just got worked by the fucking... We work by workers there, man.
No, there's no way they're intelligent enough. There's no way.
After it's done going, cut, that was perfect.
Do you think Konnan got Max Moon because he fit the rubber suit?
Oh, wow. That's really careful.
No, Paul Diamond got Max Moon because he fit the rubber suit that Konnan had made.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to make a prediction that suits aren't designed first. I'm going to guess that they actually size them after the wrestler is assigned the character so that it fits, like a tailored suit. Not that these guys would know.
Well, I mean, you're saying Monty's shirt isn't a very, very good fit over there? I mean, it's not really.
Hey, Joe, that's Monty from Monte and The Pharaoh.
About what creative direction.
I got this idea for this Max Moon character. Who are we going to get, Vince? I got this. Get this guy. What's his name? Konnan. Hey, fits the suit. He's in. Then he can't even tell his lines. One more
That's
time.
how it went.
After battling many various enemies throughout the universe.
That's very convincing. Very.
He's battling many people throughout the universe.
How much is the T-shirt, Mike? I'm in. I want one.
I don't play the rest of the clip, but it later on says, when anyone mentions another podcast, I go, who? All right, send us out.
Please.
All right, take that off, Joe.
Are we wrapping up soon? Sometime for a piss?
Yeah, we're going to wrap up. I mean, Max Moon's legacy has lasted some 30 years now. Just last year, they released a Max Moon action figure. I forgot the name of the company, but
WWE?
No. It's one of the independent companies that makes the retro figures. There is a Max Moon figure. It's not Konnan. It's the Paul Diamond version because I think they used Paul Diamond's picture on it.
Yeah, and the thing is, if they announced in 2K25, there's a DLC pack of like Max Moon and Giant Gonzalez and like Papa Shango, all these so-called shitty characters, you'd be going, this is fucking great, I can't wait for that stuff. What do we do? These guys were such dicks, we're defending Max Moon.
I know, it's just what a turnaround.
All right, Husey has to go take a piss.
Yes.
You just told us that. So while you're pissing, you'll be thinking about some upcoming episodes of It's Husey Hello, right?
Oh yes, it is thankfully it's a lot of themed months of episodes coming up. We will soon have the Valentine's Day themed shows, which just means regular episodes with romantic soundbed. Then we will have, of course, the St. Patrick's Day's episode, Everybody Irish, or people that we have claimed. And you can find that, because they are now live streamed when I record, which financially does big maximum numbers for me. So go to Huge Entertainment on YouTube, become a member to see the fully uncensored stuff, which means the odd N-bomb here and there. Yeah, you can find it if you become a member. And go to at Hughie on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you'll find all the links. And I'm going to drop off now because I'm about to crown, as they say. So I get my goes back and see you on the next one.
Quickly, real quick. Tell us, there's another person that's been live streaming recently a lot, and they're finding great success. You call him his real name is Australia.
Yeah, Australia, who goes by the secret code name of the Aussie guy, but his real name is from Australia. Google him and you will find the links to his private social media accounts. You can see photographs of his probably where he works, all kinds of stuff. Australia.
And his show is
the United States of Australia, which is all credit to from Australia. That's been blowing up to the point that people are now starting to clip his show and post it elsewhere, and people are now talking about him on other shows. It's all great. It's a good time to be in if your name is.
All right, Husey, go take that shit and piss. And thank you. Goodbye.
All right, brother.
Joe, you just dropped a episode of Absurd recently. You had a long layoff. You came out strong with like 10 episodes in a row, and then you stopped for a while, and then you dropped another one a couple days ago.
Yeah, shit. What can I say? I can't make any promises. I'll try to put them out as frequently as I can, And it's like I said on the show, I really should have been doing it the whole Biden presidency. Like that would have made a hell of a lot more sense, but I'll keep it going. I'm definitely going to be speaking about the JFK files when they drop. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about. Trump's going nuts on California. He was shit talking the mayor of LA last night, which is hilarious. Basically, even if you hate Trump at this point, it's going to be an entertaining 4 years because he's in, he's out, he can't run again, and he don't give a fuck. So if there's any politicians that you despise, he probably does too, and he will be verbally assaulting them, which is always entertaining.
Yeah.
But Absurd will be political stuff, some entertainment, whatever I hit on. Try to do a weekly one. And then, of course, K100 with Konnan and Disco comes out multiple times a week. You can get all the stuff immediately at the Patreon, patreon.com/Konnan. And check out the Keepin It 100 official YouTube. Also, the Raven Effect with Raven Rich Bocchini comes out every Monday. And actually, by the time this show drops, we might find out, will K100 win Pro Wrestling Podcast of the Year? Will the Raven Effect win the Best Sports Comedy Podcast of the Year? I don't know. But they're going to be announced next week. So there you go.
Yep. Check out the Chadster and his Eyes Up Here with Francine podcast and Diamond Conversations. And once again, go to MikeDurban.com. Get the Mike Durban Productions exclusive Konnan Major Bendy figurine. There are autographed ones on there, non-autographed ones. I think they're $29 now with free shipping to the American people. And I'm now shipping to Mexico, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. And that's it. Go to YouTube.com. I don't know. Go to Mike Durban Productions on YouTube. I just passed the 1,000 subscriber mark. My nephew Will texted me the other day. He said, "Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers," and I had no idea. I didn't get any kind of alert from it. So now I guess I can monetize my channel. So that's cool. Yeah, finally. We cannot monetize Get My Go yet because we're at like 952. We've been stuck in that area for a while. I guess we could buy subscribers. We could be like Monty and the Pharaoh and buy subscribers and pass that mark. But
I think if there's one thing that's going to take Get My Go over the 1,000 subscriber mark, it's going to be discussing those two podcasting luminaries. Clearly going to build up the subscriber count. Those two fuckers.
All right. We will see you next episode 100. I don't know what that's going to be yet. Is it going to be some kind of retrospective episode looking back on? Joe, you let me know last night. We're almost at the 5-year mark.
Yeah, we are. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Time fucking flies. 5 years ago was COVID all beginning.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
And there's still people driving around in their car with their masks on by themselves 5 years later.
Getting those boosters.
Mask up, get your booster shots, and that's it. Bye for now.
First of all, they're cloud chasing 100%. Okay? And they're just try to be never gonna be nobodies. Kings of the reach around, walking, talking glory holes, crumb cakes. They can both eat a dick.
I just want to say real quick, because they got offended, and so they watched a clip, and then they were like, Konnan sucks, and Max Moon sucked, and Disco's this.
Right.
Then they came
and they thought
me.
Konnan. It's really a funny
So a
clip.
fan that's never done anything or be in the business is saying this to me. So, I give a fuck.
Right.